Khan! I had to do it. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. See, look at this. Oh, it's just beautiful. So Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan is the second film in the Star Trek film franchise, and it is still to this day hailed as the best Star Trek movie of all time. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan was made after Paramount were happy with Star Trek The Motion Picture's box office receipts, but understood that not a lot of people liked it. Just thought, it's okay. And they thought, you know what, we can do better. They decided to produce Star Trek II through the TV department and make the movie for $12 million, reusing sets and effect shots from the first movie. And the effect that we got from it wasn't something that was meant to be a totally visual experience that the motion picture was. No, what we got was a simple, brilliant story with fantastic characters, humor, action, emotion, heart, passion, ambition. Something that no one had ever really seen for this sort of thing before. And even for a lot of science fiction films had ever really seen before. It has a great director from Nicholas Meyer who really decided, you know what, I'm going to pour everything into this movie and really try and get the real energy and emotion and passion that the original series did in spades. I'm going to try and capture that effect on film. And he succeeded perfectly by taking a villain from the original series and putting him into the film, which is Khan, played brilliantly. And I just love Ricardo Montalban as Khan. He is just fantastic. The fact that his chest, that perfectly defined chest, is his real chest, alone just makes everything to me. The fact that he took that villain and put it into the film story works brilliantly. It's a villain that strikes deep into the heart of Captain Kirk. And William Shatner's performance in this movie is the best Kirk performance that I've ever seen him in, and probably will ever see him in. His last few scenes are just, good on you, Shatner. You gave it your all and it paid off. Leonard Nimoy as Spock as well. I'm sorry, I can't really talk that much about how great he is in this movie because his role is a spoiler, okay? But what he does pull off in this movie is fantastic. I've always loved Spock. Spock's always great. He just steals every scene. He has those little tiny comedic moments, just like little slight, subtle stuff. Leonard Nimoy pulls it off perfectly. Every scene, you're captivated by what he says. That's just Spock the character. But his role in the movie is amazing. I just can't really talk about it. I'm sorry, but just know that he's great. If you've never seen this movie, you'll find out why. If you have seen this movie, you know exactly why. Khan has a personal vendetta against Kirk. You really feel that. You understand why Khan feels the way that he does. The fact that Khan has been marooned on this planet, left to die, and left his people, his family, his true family that he calls to, that are his own, have all been left alone to die. That changes a man, and it has made him into this perfect monster of wrath. This is not just the revenge of Khan. This is the pure, untempered wrath. Khan is so perfectly realized by Ricardo Montalban. Montalban has this way about him that gives him little subtle moments, but also can pull off the big, grandiose monologues that fill Khan's screen time. Montalban, it just inhabits the character so well. Every time you watch him, you're captivated by every single word that he says. You're hanging on every last letter. It makes us feel, holy shit, this is a great villain. One that can captivate us, one that can thrill us, one that can scare us. And one, in the end, that will be immortal for all time. Khan is one of the greatest film villains of all time. It's one of those major things that make The Wrath of Khan as great as it is. The effects for Star Trek II are fantastic. They're minimal. It's mainly just a lot of ships moving through space, but they still look fantastic. The miniature work is just insane, and that whole sequence through the Voltaren Nebula, I still watch it and get on the edge of my seat. I know exactly what's going to happen, but I'm still totally involved in it, and I'm just like, oh, you know, and I get so into it. The screenplay is fantastic. There's so many little tiny things that they put in there. There's the greater story at hand, but once you rewatch it a couple of times, you start to notice small little things. The introduction of the Kobayashi Maru test, the quoting that Khan does of Moby Dick directly correlating into the film, and just the slight little touches of each character's interactions. It's fantastic. I love it the most when a movie can do the big stuff big and the small stuff subtle. And that's what Star Trek II does. The music is fantastic by James Horner. Rest in peace. His score is just... oh, every time I watch it, my heart just sings with it. You still have great performances from DeForest Kelley as Leonard McCoy. There's a lot more focus on Chekhov, which was quite surprising. You're sure there's not that much focus dedicated to Sulu or Uhura. They're kind of always getting the short shrift, but they're still there. They're still doing stuff. So, yeah, that's okay. Scotty is fantastic. There's this nice little subplot with his engineer's first mate that, yeah, it still works. There are a few small little problems. It does have a slight pacing issue towards in the middle of the movie. There are a lot of scenes that I don't think every audience is going to totally grasp the meaning of. These are just small little tiny nitpicks in a greater film that still holds up to this day as one of the greatest science fiction films ever made. Period. There is an ending to this movie that I cannot tell you because I want everyone who has never seen this movie to go in completely cold. But I'm just telling you, the ending of this movie packs a humongous punch for fans and people who had never seen this sort of thing before. Allison, who I did reviews with, as I said, she had seen Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Mostly, she kind of skipped through a lot of it and got to the end and was heartbroken by what happened. And that, I just thought, that is how great this movie is, because Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan transcends that barrier of only make it for the fans and lets itself into the greater film world. And that is what the best Star Trek movies do. And in the end, Star Trek II is still a film that I watch this day, that I still have a great time with. It is the perfect introduction to anyone to the Star Trek film universe, and it is still a film that you should throw all your money at. So Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Have you seen it? Please tell me what you think about it. Stay tuned for Star Trek III: The Search for Spock. Ooh, spoiler! Remember, press that little red button. Thank you for watching.